Welcome, fans, to a special edition of Rangers Ed, as we were brought in with Nikki Bazinakol's guitar solo at the end of our intro there. Gotta love it. Unfortunately, Cousin Ed's not going to be able to be with us for the next probably 3 or 4 weeks. He's in the middle of a very important trial. He's not going to have a lot of free time to dedicate to us in the show. So you guys are going to have to put up with me for the next couple weeks. So we decided we couldn't celebrate our 100th episode without our host and one of the Eds. So Coach Ed had a very good idea, last-minute idea, to do a Road to the Playoffs little mini-series for the next 2 or 3 weeks. We're just going to cover some hot topics, pretty much what we do every week, but also talk about why that's important leading into the playoffs, and definitely hit some hot topics. We might be joined by some special guests in the next coming weeks to fill some time as well. But of course, you will always have your favorite Eds and your favorite podcast every week. As Mikey produces, he's giggling over there like a little girl because Coach Ed had to make noise during my little intro. Let's throw it over to Mikey to start it.
I'm pretty sure he kicked the mic. Is that what happened, Coach?
My knee hit it.
Okay. So it was a quick knee to the mic.
It's okay.
When you get to my age, Mike, you start cramping up in certain positions, so you got to move. Sorry, boys.
I'm starting to feel it at my age, too.
Okay. Well, got to keep moving. So, we come at you this week. The Rangers went 2-0-1 or 2-1-1. I'm sorry, since last episode. They're sitting at a current record of 45, 21, and 11, and that's 101 points. They hit the 100-point plateau again, and they are sitting third in the Metro right now and fifth overall in the NHL. A lot of the teams that have qualified for the playoffs so far have come out of the East. We're still kind of waiting for the West to shake out a bit, but the East is pretty much locked in. The Rangers led off this series here, or this row of games against Columbus. They kind of spanked a bad team, which they should have done 6-2. Igor came out with a strong game, stopping 28 of 30. Then they went to They went to New Jersey first, where it was a very highly anticipated game. Unfortunately, it fell short 2-1. It was a very tight game. Igor came up with another solid game, saving 29 out of 31. Then they went to Buffalo with an overtime loss with Halak in net, 3-2. And then back to Washington, where they beat up on Washington on a national broadcast, one of their rivals, where Igor put up another hot performance, 26 out of 28, with a solid win 5-2. I don't want to skip over Columbus too much, but we're not going to spend too much time on it. Coach, you were saying before we got on that it's very important that they were able to come out and do what they had to do and take care of business against a bad team. So why don't you expand on that?
Yeah, I was listening to Rupper on NHL Network last night because they were talking about the Kraken trying to hold on and keep in the playoffs, and they're playing Columbus, they're playing Nashville, they're playing a bunch of teams that are out of the playoffs for sure. And he was saying how dangerous it is for two reasons. One, you want to have your team playing in a playoff type game where both teams need the point. It's going to be very, very competitive. And you play a team that's not any interest in the playoffs, and they're just going to play loose. They're not going to play good defensively, and you're going to get into bad habits offensively, and not dumping the puck in when you should, and so on and so forth as far as puck management goes. So he said it's a little harder to keep yourself disciplined when you're not playing a playoff type game in the last 10 games or so. You want to get in that mode. It's a team they should have beat. They did. Like I said, it's a team that had nothing to lose, so they're going to go out and take a lot of chances. And they did what they had to do.
Yeah, I think they did what they had to do, especially against, like I said, a weaker team. And then looking ahead against Jersey, like you said, you don't want to get into bad habits. You want to put up your points. You want to get your confidence. You don't want to play too passive just because you, feel bad for the other team or whatever. But you don't want to move away too much of your game because you obviously have a much stronger opponent next game against New Jersey. I guess we might as well just jump right into New Jersey. It was a very highly anticipated game. Mikey and I were down in Jacksonville, sunny Florida for it, but we were able to watch it at Miller's Ale House down there. So that was pretty cool that they
Nice.
were able to have the game. Yeah, the waiter comes up to us. I was like, "Excuse me, bud, can you mind put on the Ranger game? I think they're on ESPN, not ESPN, whatever." I was like, "Can you mind finding?" He goes, "Oh, you mean the Devils game?" I was like, "Oh, it's gonna be one of those nights. We're starting already." But nah, he was nice. He was a nice guy. He's a really funny guy. But yeah, we were able to enjoy the game. Yeah, it was a tight game. It was fun to watch for the most part. Kind of annoying that the Devils were able to get out to that early 2-0 lead. But I think the Rangers were able to keep it tight for the most part. Mikey, what do you think of their performance overall?
Yeah, I mean, they definitely fought hard. It was, it was a bad loss, though. You want to see them win that game, especially, being that it's looking like that's going to be a playoff preview. You kind of want to have that chip on your shoulder going into the playoffs, saying, "Hey, listen, we took you." So I think it was a good learning opportunity. Hopefully, they make some good adjustments, coaching wise, and line wise, and be able to keep up with the Devils team come playoffs.
I think
Coach?
the common denominator in all four of these games is they're getting off to a very slow start in the first 5 to 7 minutes of the game, which I don't understand why. If there's a reason to that, maybe they should start the kid line or start the fourth line, get a little energy. But every game, Columbus, 5 minutes. I mean, Columbus could have took a 3-0 lead. Shesterkin made 3 big saves in the first 5 minutes. I mean, point blank, Gaudreau all alone in the high slot, all alone. He made a big glove save. I mean, these games, that's what happened with the Devils game. The Devils finished. They got 2 quick goals. And after that, the Rangers did a great job of holding them off.
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
going to be the problem.
I think you kind of got to look internally there. If I haven't really noticed that, or it hasn't stuck out to me as much as you're saying, but now that I'm thinking about it, you're definitely right.
Oh,
I mean, that's
Buffalo
gotta,
for sure. Buffalo also. You guys didn't really see it, but Buffalo was horrible.
yeah, that game that was a tough one to watch while we were down in Florida. But yeah, I saw all the highlights. I saw like the condensed game or whatever you want to call it. So I saw all the important parts. But yeah, I mean, what I was going to say is I think that's got to happen almost internally as a team. Is like maybe they got to change up their pregame routine. I know they like to play soccer in the hallway. Maybe not all of them do. Maybe they got to change it up and do something else. I mean, I myself, shout out to the Wet Bandits going for our three-peat. My jersey right behind us. I brought it out for this episode. We got a game tonight at 11:15. I mean, I know that's a weird comparison, but like it's going to be tough to like get out of my apartment tonight, me and Mikey, and drive to the rink and have to play. So like I might even just hop next door and go on the treadmill just to get my legs going a little bit, and just something stupid for a roller hockey game. So if they're coming out flat a little bit, I think they definitely got to change it up. I don't know what they're doing before the game, but it's definitely something to think about.
It's got to be something mentally because again, the common thing is that it seems to be since they clinched that playoff spot.
I was just going to say that, yeah.
I just thought, like Mike said, they're playing the Devils for second place. You would have thought they would have came out with a lot of jump in their step.
Yeah.
And they came out flat for 5 minutes, and you can't do that. I mean, they
Yeah.
played Buffalo. They came out flat also. They didn't have Thompson in the lineup. They should have beat that team handily.
Right. Yeah, I mean, they didn't really even have to travel that much. I mean, they were in New York with Columbus. They went to Jersey, which is obviously not very far away, and then up to Buffalo, which is a quick bus ride, or they probably even just take a quick plane. And then Washington is the same deal, so you can't even blame it on that. I mean, it's a lot of hockey in a 4 or 5 day span, but they got to obviously get used to that going into playoffs. So, I mean,
Yeah.
I think we talked about this in previous episodes where they're having like this kind of difficult schedule. I noticed in the last 2 months they have I think they had like 20 games in 35 days or something like that, which is a lot for an NHL team, and it's good for them to gear up for the playoffs. I mean, kind of try to tie it back into what I was saying is we're going to try and talk about why that's important for the playoffs, and they got to start getting conditioned now, and obviously playing every other night and getting used to that kind of flow and the travel and all that. So I think that's important.
Well, I mean, I don't want to make that big a deal out of it because in the games they lost, the one was in overtime. They came back against Buffalo to tie it. What I did like seeing was in that Buffalo game, they got 2 gritty goals. It was in both of them from in the crease, pounding away at the loose puck. I think it was Kako and Fox. Both goals were very similar. They weren't the snipes we're looking to see from Panarin, Kane, Tarasenko, Zibby. They were all gritty power play type playoff type goals. So they're not giving up by no means, but the slow start's going to be tough. You don't want to get behind in the playoff series, obviously. So I'm hoping they just come out with a little bit more energy in the playoffs.
Yeah, without a doubt. Without a doubt. That's going to be important. And as far as playoffs go, and I think we kind of can assume, or it's safe to say that they're going to be playing the Devils in round one. So I don't think travel is going to take a toll on the team as far as that goes. But I wanted to discuss the home ice advantage and how many Ranger fans were at the game on Thursday night in Newark, and how it's probably going to be come playoff time as well.
Oh my
Mikey.
God! Did you see? I'm sorry. Go ahead, Mike.
All right.
No, I was golfing. I was going to say it was super noticeable that there were a lot of Ranger fans in the stands. Super
Well,
noticeable.
they showed you like outside the arena at the entrance, like the fans walking in, and it was at least half and half, like Ranger jerseys and Devils jerseys.
Yeah, they were saying that a lot of season ticket holders are selling their tickets, and Ranger fans are the ones that are obviously buying them up. So I don't know, man. The Devils are a playoff team, and their fans are selling off their tickets to Ranger fans. It's kind of a tough look. Remember last year, was it Tampa or the Panthers said that they weren't selling any tickets to someone without a Florida address or something?
Yeah,
Address.
something
Yeah.
like that. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
maybe
that's
the Devils might have to consider that, and we might have to ask Oscar and what's his name? Jeff from Mind Your Fucking Business to get our some playoff tickets from Jersey.
Well, there you go.
With their Jersey addresses.
Two New Jersey guys, both Ranger fans. I feel like it's a lot more. It's actually probably a lot more even than leaning towards Ranger fans in Jersey, but.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a lot of people that work in the city that have moved to Jersey. Definitely cheaper land, and taxes and stuff are a lot different and better, I'm sure. So yeah, not only are we saying like, oh, Ranger fans traveling to Newark. I mean, I'm sure a lot of them live right there, so it's not that shocking that they would all go to those games. So I mean, it seems like the Devils obviously have the Rangers' number in the regular season. All I'm hearing on social media is, oh, the Devils, they have their number. The Rangers have no chance against them in the playoffs. They went 4-0 this year, blah, blah, blah.
What? They beat us 4 times?
Not 4. I think it was.
I thought we beat
2
them
and
twice.
1, maybe.
Really?
We played
Mike,
4
look
times
that
or
up.
3.
Got it.
I forget if we played 3 or 4 times. I know we played the Islanders 3, so maybe we played Devils 4. But either way, seemed like they kind of have our number this year, have the Rangers' number this year. So, I mean, looking ahead to the playoffs, Coach, what do you think needs to change, or how do you think the Rangers can handle the high-flying offense or speedy game that the Devils bring?
Well, I thought they did a good job managing the puck. Even Panarin, I noticed, was definitely dumping the puck in more, not just flinging across ice. They held Jack Hughes to an assist. I mean, that's a big part of it. That's a big plus. That's going to be key in the playoffs if they play them. They got to try to hold him down from dominating the game. My boy Schneider did a great job without the puck. I think he was on the ice for one of the goals, but I saw he had his man, and Harper in the center got beat out of the corner on one of them. So, I think I don't think they're going to be overly concerned. I think it's just going to be a matter of our first line and second line picking up the pace a little bit and putting some pucks in the net. That's what's going to have to happen, obviously. And again, the power play. We had power plays in that game. We have to put pucks in the net on the power play. I'm sorry.
It's almost got to be a guarantee, or at least 3 or 4 scoring chances, like solid quality scoring chances that at least makes the other team shake a little bit.
Yeah.
Like you got to at least get the momentum something. This no shots on goal. He's barely getting any chances. Just trying to get the puck to Mika and stuff. It just has to stop. But yeah, I think we'll get into that a little bit later. The power play, but it's almost got to be automatic. At least 1 goal a game, without a doubt. I think the problem.
I think Buffalo, since the All-Star break, is like at 70% or something ridiculous. How is their power play better than the Rangers when we have 2 bona fide power play units that are top units on any team in the league almost.
No,
And we should be in the playoffs. They have to be in the area of 70%.
Yeah, they have enough players to have. They pretty much have a 1A and a 1B power play unit. Both
Yeah.
units should be able to score pretty much at will. And yeah, they got to figure that out. I mean, for me, the Devils. I mean, I think they kind of got to beat them at their own game. I definitely said it in a previous episode where they just got to focus on getting the pucks behind their D. I think that's kind of what you already touched on right there. Just getting pucks on in their D and just exposing their weaknesses. And their weakness is definitely their defensemen. And I don't care how good of a season Mrazek has been having. The goalies have been having back there. Pucks on net, one of them's going to go in and they're going to fall apart. They don't have a lot of playoff experience, and the little experience that they do, they didn't really play that well, in my opinion. So I think they just got to bury them at their own game and just the offense has to turn on. And I think that's what's going to happen.
They have to make them pay on their mistakes.
Exactly. So before we move into the Buffalo game, let's take a quick break. I know we didn't really have any jersey numbers this week, or didn't really have any. We didn't have any jersey numbers this week, but we can't forget about our boy Oscar from Oscar's Pro Stitch.
Our buddy Oscar, a huge Rangers fan himself, started his company by stitching his own blue shirts. Once he perfected his craft and started to fall in love with his work, the man started to grow. Oscar stitches every jersey with love and dedication to authenticity, which never disappoints. His talent is hard to find in any store out there. Are you like Cousin Ed? You have a lingering jersey curse that every player he gets a jersey of gets traded or injured and hurts the Rangers team? You want to change things up? You want to take an Eric Lindros jersey and make it a vintage Ken Hodge jersey in the late 70s? Got an old jersey collecting dust in your closet? Want to throw your name on the back and add a nice number of one of your favorite players? You can bring it back to life with a brand new kit at Oscar's Pro Stitch. So head on over to Oscar's Instagram at Oscar's PSH. That's OSCARS PSH to check out the countless tarps he's already done and to place the order for his next one that possibly can post on Instagram. And get ready to wear it to the next Ranger game or any event that you have coming up. Tell them the boys from Rangers Ed sent you and receive a special discount at Oscar's Pro Stitch Hockey. Go get them, Rangers.
To answer your question before, Coach, played the Devils 3 times this year. They got us twice.
Yeah, 2-1. Yeah, well, so
I mean, 2-1 loss isn't horrible. Again, it's a playoff type atmosphere. And they got 2 early goals, and then the Rangers shut them down. Shesterkin was on point. So you can't. I personally am not going to say I'm satisfied with the loss, but they didn't lose 5-1. That's how I'm looking at it. It was a playoff game. A couple of shots. Their goalie made a couple of big saves where the game could have been different, but it was the early slow start.
Yeah, I think what gets me is that I just don't find their defense, or like I said before, their defense or their goaltending anything special. So I think that the Rangers offense should never really not get shut out, but scoring 1 goal to me is getting shut out with who they have on paper on offense.
Yeah, for sure. I think the Devils' big defense is putting the puck in the other team's zone with their speed. That's their big defense, puck possession in the O zone.
Yeah, it's no secret that the Devils are going to be a problem moving forward. They're a very good team. They have the right pieces. They're going to continue to get better, and they're definitely going to be a big rivalry or big rival for the Rangers in the future. And I think we're going to have Neil from Devils State of Mind back on before the playoff series starts, if and when they do play the Devils. So we'll look forward to that. So moving on to the Buffalo game. A little disappointing losing to a team like Buffalo, not really a playoff team right now. So after they beat up on Columbus, you kind of thought that they were going to come out against Buffalo and do the same thing, especially after losing to New Jersey, and thought that they would have a little bit bitter taste in their mouths, but they end up falling short with an overtime loss against Buffalo. Coach Ed, you were texting me a little bit. You said that it wasn't really the score, or the game didn't really tell how it went. So why don't you talk about that a little bit, how the Rangers play?
I mean, again, it was a bad start again, and Halak made a few good saves early on. mean, we'll get to it in the banter, but if you were listening to Sam Rosen and you couldn't see the screen, you didn't know what was going on, but all you heard was save after he's telling stats. But Halak came up big in the beginning of that game, and he held him in the game. The overtime goal was tough to watch, but again, I feel the same thing. I don't see how we should lose in overtime personally, but that's besides the point.
Wasn't it to a rookie goalie also?
It was his first game in the NHL out of Northeastern University.
Yeah, yep. Of course.
I'm sure if you saw the game, you would hear Sam Rosen had to say it. I'm going to say minimum 10 times. And, I mean, the kid played good. The one play that Hedo missed the open net, he actually shot it into him. It would have went through the crease if the goalie wasn't there. He was out of position. I mean, the game should have been, I think we hit 2 posts. One hit the post so hard it came out of the zone. It was like, one of those games. But again, Buffalo isn't a playoff team, but they're making a push again. They're not sitting back. They didn't have Thompson in the lineup, but Skinner played a good game. He got one of the goals. Of course, he scores against the Rangers, I think, every time they play.
Yeah, I think it's one of those games where they didn't play poorly. Things just didn't go their way.
I mean, I think if it wasn't an overtime sudden death, 5-minute overtime 3-on-3, I mean, that's another thing Rupper talks about, that a lot of these teams like Dallas, they have like 15 overtime wins or something.
Yeah.
Where if you're playing in a 7-game series, you're not getting that 3-on-3. That's not a real game. So the teams that are going to, excel more in the playoffs in an overtime situation are going to be the better teams that have a 5-on-5 lineup. You're going to have to withstand, again, against the Rangers, you're going to have to withstand Zibby's line, Trocheck's line, the kid line, and Goodrow coming. That's a lot harder than just throwing 3 guys out there and playing a little keep-away game for 5 minutes. It's a different game.
No, without a doubt. I'm not worried about it in the playoffs. I mean, yeah, like you said, 5-on-5 with that lineup, with the Rangers lineup, you can't really worry about it.
So I think my point was, if they were playing Buffalo in a regular playoff overtime,
yeah,
we had the momentum going into the overtime. We tied the game. When I say we, I mean the Rangers.
We're media now.
Yeah, and it would have been a big question if that rookie goalie could have withstand, an overtime in the playoffs. So a lot of questions, but the Rangers, they played well. Again, they got a point out of it. You can't, 2-1-1 isn't horrible.
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to win every game. It's obviously disappointing that they didn't come out with 2 points against Buffalo, but getting 1 point against a desperate team isn't bad. And then obviously they bounced back against Washington, so they kind of have trouble against the Devils, against Buffalo, like we were just talking about, speedy teams. We already kind of hit on that, on what they could do to prevent that or what they could do to match that. But then they come out against Washington, who's more of like a stronger, I guess, veteran-style team, and kind of just work off their system and their strength. And the Rangers are able to just dominate the Capitals, come out and dominate a rival, crosstown rival there. So how do you feel about this game? I personally I get a different feeling when the Rangers beat up on the Capitals. I don't know what it is. It must be all those playoff series in a row that they had to deal with them. When I was living down in Baltimore for college, having to deal with that. Shout out to my friend Bear, who brought me to a few playoff games. I think it's way more annoying to go to a game at the Capitals Arena. I think it's called Capital One Arena than it is to go to an Islanders game. I mean, it's very close second, but it's pretty tough. Their goal horn is just as bad as the Islanders, if not worse. But yeah, just very sweet beating up on the Capitals. And yeah, I mean, the kids line continues to impress. Kako got his second goal of this stretch. Laffy has a nice highlight goal. And I think one of the problems we thought that the Rangers were going to have was address this game where Wilson had a little scrap and the Rangers were able to step up and take care of business. So I think that's something that we were worried about going to playoffs, trading Revo at the deadline or a little bit before the deadline. And I think that we're in good hands, Coach. What do you think?
I mean, it's clear that the difference without Reeves in the lineup. Wilson, when Reeves was in the lineup, didn't do anything.
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden he's not in the lineup, and now he's he's protecting Ovechkin, and he's a big tough guy. So,
Mike,
He
what
never-
do you think?
He never answered my DM from 2 seasons ago when he body slammed Panarin. So he's a punk, but yeah, no, they're holding their own. I have all the confidence in this team going into the playoffs with their physicality. You know, Trouba obviously, and once Lindgren comes back, you know, not that Lindgren's going to throw the gloves down, but you know, his physicality will make a difference.
he's not going to back down from anybody, that's for sure.
Yeah, exactly. So
I mean, the only guy that really doesn't play physical to that level is Fox. Harper plays physical. Schneids, Nikola. You know, Nikola stepping up and having that fight was pretty cool.
Yeah, I don't think they have an issue at all. I think also Goudreau. I don't know if you guys mentioned him yet. He's definitely a guy that, especially come playoff time, he's not going to put up with any shit. So I think he'll be a great guy to have in there as well. I think if it boils down to it, even Mott's going to be in the mix.
What did Goudreau do to Ovechkin at the other end of the ice that led to all that?
He caught him with an elbow, whether it was intentional or not. Caught him with an elbow in the face, I think, or in the head. And it caused a huge stir. Ovechkin wasn't happy. And then obviously Wilson jumped in, and the rest is history.
Yeah, he went at him pretty good. It took the referee quite a long time to call the penalty on Ovechkin.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think it was definitely a big win, very important win to come out, score 5 goals. Igor put up a great performance once again, 26 out of 28 saves. And, yeah, I mean, I just can't say enough good things about beating up on Washington. We could go on and on.
I mean, that's another game. After losing to Buffalo in overtime, they could have came in and folded up. And they came out. See, that was a nice start. They came out to, was it 3-0? I think they took a 3-0 lead. That's what they need to do against these teams. But again, like you said before, and again, that's a point Rupper made. When you're playing these teams who have nothing to lose, they're just playing a run and gun system where that's not a playoff type hockey. Boston's not playing that game. You play Boston, you play these Tampa Bay. It's not a run and gun type of play. It's more puck possession, cautious with the puck. And, you know, no one wants to make that mistake in the playoffs because, you know, everything is do or die. So you're not going to take liberties like that. So it was a little bit of a different game as far as, what do you call it?
Strategy goes?
Strategy of the strategy of each team playing. That, you know, different styles.
Yeah, and that's how the playoffs kind of goes too. Like game 1 is always a little boring, where the teams are kind of figuring each other out, finding each other's weaknesses. And I think the Rangers excel in something like that. I think where we just touched on it again is where they lose track or lose focus, whatever, they get caught off guard is when the teams come out flying. So they got to be prepared for that.
I think now that we're talking about it, the Devils game, I think there was like 10 icings in the first 15 minutes or something because neither team wanted to make a mistake.
Mm-hmm.
They were just very cautious of what they were doing. Even in that game, it was crazy the amount of whistles that were in the first period.
Yeah. That's definitely playoff hockey, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So, before we move on to broadcast banter, there's one last topic I want to bring up. It looks like we're going to be joined by Ryan Lindgren again in the lineup. Hopefully they're not bringing him back too soon. I think they should just keep him out more. I don't know. I mean, I understand they probably wanted him to get his timing back and all that good stuff, but I don't think the teams really needs him in the lineup right now. So hopefully they learn their lesson, and he's definitely 100% this time. But yeah, he's definitely going to be playing. When do they play Tampa? Tomorrow night?
yeah, Wednesday.
Yeah,
Wednesday
tomorrow
night.
night.
Yeah, so he'll be returning to the lineup against Tampa. Coach, how do you feel about that?
I mean, every game Sam's going, he's day to day. I'm like, they're clearly keeping him out of the lineup because they just want him to rest and not get hurt again. Of course, he'll come back in 2 weeks ago, but They're keeping him out. So I'm going to have to trust Jim Ramsey, the best in the business.
Yeah, I think he's ready to come back. I don't think they would rush him. I think they made a mistake when he did get hurt. What was it, like 4 or 5 games ago now? So I kind of want to see him back now. Maybe not putting in the minutes that he was putting in prior to his injury, but at least getting, some skating in with the team and timing wise. Like practice is one thing, but playing in the game is different.
Yeah, exactly. You got to get game time in.
So,
100%.
How many games they got left? 6?
5.
It just
played 77.
Yeah, they got 5 games left. It's just tough because they got to bring him back against Tampa. Like, you can't bring him back. Who do they have next? St. Louis. I mean, even that would probably be a better game. They have Columbus on Saturday. I don't know. Makes me a little nervous.
Any game he could get hurt. So
no, without a doubt. But
it's a matter if he's ready or not. Obviously, they feel like he's ready. So
I don't know. Tampa's they're sneaky. They know what it takes to win.
Yeah, Tampa's
that's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, Tampa's in their playoff mode right now.
Yeah.
They had the similar incident like the Trouber incident in Chicago where the coach benched the top line that one game, and ever since then I forget what their record is, but it's like I want to say it's like 12-3-2 or something.
It works, sending a message.
Yeah.
When Lindgren does come back, like I don't know if it's worth obviously we want to see Fox, Norris Trophy Fox, which he only plays that way with Lindgren. But I've come to really like the play of Harper, and obviously I'm going to assume he's the odd man out. It's going to be tough. I feel like losing that big body and physicality that he brings once Lindgren does come back.
Well, yeah, there's been a lot of chatter around that. I mean, a lot of Ranger fans don't like Harper. I don't really understand it. I mean, I know he's not a superstar. I know he's not Adam Fox or Keandre Miller, but I mean, I think we talk about him a lot where he's just solid back there. He doesn't make a lot of blatant mistakes. He's not going to cost you a game, but he's also not going to be the hero. I think he's just solid back there. And I don't disagree with you. I think he's going to be the odd man out. But at the same time, I wouldn't be surprised if he does get into the lineup. I mean, if the Rangers come out and lose game 1 or game 2, you never know. Gallant obviously loves shaking things up. He likes moving things around. So if he's not pleased with Mikola's play one game, or I don't think he's going to remove any of the other defensemen just because one bad game. But if he's not pleased with Mikola's game or whatever, you never know. He can move Harper right in. And I think that's a good thing to have too, is 7 solid defensemen. And that's not really something – yeah, it's not really something that necessarily had last year. Who they have as the 7th? Nemeth? Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they brought in.
If you're going to compare, last year everyone's complaining about Nemeth. Now you're going to complain about Harper after having a very good season, or not a very good season, but for a 7th or 6th or 7th D, I think he had a very good season.
I have no complaints about him, but I tend to be that old school thought where you need the big boys in the front, and if anything, it proved in the last 10 games or 15 games that Lindgren's been in and out that we can win without Lindgren if we have the right guys in there, and Harper filled the spot. It's not going to be like, oh shit, who are we going to put in the game? They know they've been playing like this for the last 5 games, and they know what the plan is. And he has proven, Harper, that after sitting out for a long spell, he came right in and played. He wasn't a liability, like you said. That's not an easy thing to do. Like we were just talking about, Lindgren's got to get back into game speed. Harper sat out for like a month, and then Lindgren got hurt, and he had to get right back in and play a lot of minutes and just filled those minutes, and he wasn't a liability out there. So that's a big plus.
Yeah, I don't know if it was a month, but yeah, between the trade deadline when they got Mikkola, or I guess it was before because the Tarasenko trade was way before the trade deadline, actually. So, yeah, it was probably a lot more time than I'm actually thinking.
He was out for quite a bit of time. He was not dressed for quite a bit of time.
Yeah, and then Lindgren goes. Then he kind of gets his not feelings hurt, but then he gets taken out of the lineup for a little bit. Probably doesn't feel too great about himself or whatever, and then he has to come back in right in the next game and perform.
Yeah.
And step it right back up. So, yeah, I mean, it's going to be tough. It's a tough decision. I love Mikola's game. I love Harper's game. I love all the defensemen. So, like I said, I think it's a good problem to have that they're going to have that 7 defenseman depth.
There might even be a point where they might dress 7D and one less forward if he's unhappy with somebody at forward, depending on who they're playing and what the situation is.
Yeah, Ranger fans just always have something to complain about. If it's not Trouba, it's somebody else.
Game 1 of the playoffs, Coach. Who's your 6D?
It's got to be Nikola. He moves the puck well. He moves the puck a little better than Harper. I just like the way he plays. He's not more physical. I just think he's a better skater.
He has better hockey sense and a better skater, yeah. Yeah, I'm going with Mikkola too. Mike, who do you think?
I'll go with Mikkola. I'll take the coach's advices from you guys. I trust your judgment. I love Harper though. I love him
too. I've been saying it all year. My cousin Eddie's always bitching about him, but
if we didn't get Mikkola in that trade,
Harper would be in.
Yeah, and I wouldn't have a problem with that.
Yeah, Eddie wants Zach Jones in the game,
Yeah, I think come playoff time and when the season's all said and done, I think Mikkola is going to be a sneaky or under the radar trade deadline pickup.
I agree.
No one really talked about, and not necessarily. Not only did we not really talk about it, obviously Tarasenko was the main focus of that trade, but around the league, he kind of flew under the radar in that trade, and now he's going to be probably the 6th defenseman for the Rangers, hopefully for a very deep run. So yeah, I mean, I think that pretty much covers all the hot topics flowing around. So, Coach, are you ready to rip into the ad before broadcast banter? What do you think?
Yeah, why not? Let's do it.
All right. Bella Marble sponsoring broadcast banter this week.
Hey, Ranger fans, springtime is here, and that means 3 things. NHL playoffs are here, indoor-outdoor house projects are ready to start, and your tax refund check should be coming very soon to put towards those outdoor projects. So get going with that kitchen or bath project or even the bar top in your Ranger room in the basement. One thing for sure, when you're ready to order your custom countertop, you can count on Bella Marble and Granite for your needs. The large stores may toe drag you in with false discounts, dealing with multiple people, phone discussions over and over, and even those teleprompter phone calls where you have to hit buttons to try to talk to someone. Avoid that frustration and call the boys at Bella. Visit their shop. Very simple. Pick out your stone. When the job is ready, you'll be one-on-one with the owners. They'll come to the house. They'll template the countertop, cut the stone, bring it back and install it in a prompt and professional manner. So head on over to Bella Marble, Granite, and Quartz at 3459 Lawson Boulevard in Oceanside. That's in New York, not out in California. I know we have a worldwide platform now. Tell them Coach Ed sent you. Discuss a little Rangers chat over in the office. Maybe you'll get a little extra discount on the side. And I've been dealing with them for 4 or 5 years on all my construction projects all over Long Island, and they've been steady and very professional all the way through. So give them a call over there and get going on those projects. Keep the wife happy so you can watch your playoffs all season long.
Or husband or partner happy.
Correct. So I kind of want to redo my kitchen just after listening to that.
Yeah, to tie it into the broadcast banter before Mike gives us our little intro. I wonder if Sam Rosen's kitchen was done by Bella Marble when he was doing it during COVID.
That little high top there. I don't know if they go into Manhattan, but it's worth a shot. For the right price, I'm sure they will.
Take it away, Mikey.
It's a power play goal.
All right, yeah, shout out to Bella Marble. If you guys are looking to redo your kitchen or maybe a Ranger room with a nice bar top, like Coach Ed said, I think they'd be a perfect match for you guys. and they're huge Ranger fans, so maybe they could figure something out. And if you're a listener of the show, they will definitely figure something out. So make sure you mention us if you go into the store. So Coach, I think you had quite a few, or you had some for us this week. Unfortunately, me and Mikey were watching at the bars and stuff with family, so we don't really have much this week.
I mean, there was a few of them. It's the normal. First of all, it's the normal. I'm just getting tired of it. Like in that first Columbus game, he's talking about Columbus's last 10 games and what their record is. And all of a sudden, Gaudreau's all alone in front, takes a shot. He doesn't even announce the play. It happens. Shesterkin made 3 saves in a row that were game-changing saves. He didn't even announce the play. He'll be talking about Nikola's sister or this and that, and all of a sudden he'll go, save Shesterkin. I'm like, what the hell? Uncle Rob's texting me like, this guy, I can't take it anymore. Every game, it's the same thing. It's just brutal.
Yeah.
But in the Devils game, he did the standard Sam Rosen jinx. He comes up with the stat. I don't know who. It's probably in his game notes. All 3 games versus the Devils, whatever team had the 2-0 lead, the other team came back and won. So he's saying this after the Devils got a 2-0 lead. I'm going, of course, it's not going to happen today.
Oh, now it's not going to happen.
Because he just said that. So that just destroyed that.
Put that right out the window.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
And you knew that was coming.
Classic
There's
jinx.
there's got to be a stat. Someone has to be keeping track of the amount of jinxes that's called or made happen.
Mushes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was there any good Valaket or in between periods conversations to talk about?
Unfortunately, I was watching all the games on delay, so I kind of forwarded through the intermissions. I can't lie. I didn't get a chance to listen to Valley up close. I usually love listening to him, but it just didn't work out these last few games.
Yeah, I think come playoff time, definitely important to listen to those in between periods. So all of us are going to definitely do it. And yeah, I mean, this is around the time where I definitely start listening to NHL radio 24/7 and get around the league and kind of get a feel and get excited for the playoffs. And the nice weather's starting to come out in New York, and it definitely brings the whole atmosphere, ties everything together. So definitely look forward to some more playoff stuff.
It's going to be great.
Yep. So is that it for banter?
I think so. I had another one. I'll probably remember it after we're talking for a few minutes.
When we're on the 3rd star of the week.
Right. But it's just on and on. And that leads us to the Taco Bell take, Joe. I lost it. He looks at him. Oh my God. After that Columbus game, when he came to the Devils game and it was for 2nd place, he was like this shit standing out of his chair. He's like this in front of the camera. And he goes, and it leads us to the Taco Bell take.
I wonder what's said like on the teleprompter or like in their headphone for them to be like, all right, Sam, it's time to go to the Taco Bell take. Go.
Yeah.
I mean, he's good at that stuff. I can't say he's not good at it. He just leads into stuff. He's been doing it so long, but it's just funny.
Yeah, when we coached at the UBS, remember I found the papers in the tunnel, like someone's notes. It was like, all right, like if this happens, you gotta give him a lot more credit. I saw like if this happens, this is an opportunity to do like the Mercedes-Benz or whatever face-off challenge, whatever, if a big face-off, like now's the time to jump into it. So like they kind of do some of this stuff on the fly. Yeah. Like, cause I listened to one the other day where, what was it for the Rangers? It was like the Selly of the game or something like that. It was like a very random one. I was like, they don't do that every game. So like, they must just be like, all right, go. That was the time to do that one. Right. It's just like, it's very, well,
there's got to be someone in his ear going, Selly of the game.
Right. Because it's not like a consistent one. Like obviously when we're doing this show, we're trying to keep it consistent every week. They don't do the same like awards or whatever you want to call it during every game.
Yeah.
So. Hey, I mean, we're getting a feel for production, and it's not easy. So, got to give Sam and the crew a little bit of credit here and there where credit's due. All right, so I guess
it just gets to the point where it's comical.
well, I was definitely thinking of the drinking game over the while we were away. So I have some good ideas flowing. So maybe in the off season I'll get that going, and we'll have that up for sale next year, and make the games a little bit more fun. So yeah, I guess that wraps up the banter. So with that, let's get into stars of the week. See that? I didn't need anyone in my ear to tell me to do that. I just knew it was next.
Yeah.
All right. I guess we'll kick it off with offensive star of the week. Let's give it to Mikey Produces.
So my offensive star of the week is someone who has been showing up consistently lately. I think he had 3 assists and 1 goal this stretch of games. I'm giving it to Laffy Taffy. He is just playing phenomenal right now. He's showing everyone why he was the number 1 overall pick. And I'm sure if Cousin Ed was on the episode, he would agree, saying he's actually showing some of that flash that you want to see from a number 1 overall pick.
Yep, that's for sure. It's a good pick. Coach?
Yeah, he got shut out against the Devils, but I thought he played a good game. I don't hate the pick, but I'm definitely giving it to my boy, Tarasenko.
Ooh, I second that.
I just love the way he's playing. He got a couple of nice goals. I think he's doing a lot of the little things that, go unnoticed by the average fan. And he's just making some really heads-up plays and passing and engaging with the teammates on the bench. Just everything about what he's doing. I love watching it. I think he should be on the power play more. That's the only disappointment I have with the coaching staff. But that's another issue.
Yeah, I think that's a great pick. Obviously, I went with that too. His snipe against Washington was oh man, that was so nice. That was so nice.
He had a couple of chances against the Devils. I thought he would bury. He missed like 2 good chances, but
yeah, it's just it's starting to click where we were talking. Is it too many cooks in the kitchen? I mean, you think about a guy like Tarasenko, who's been a captain or assistant captain for almost his entire career. Patrick Kane, obviously an assistant captain for almost his entire career. And these guys are all in the Rangers now, and they're going into playoffs, and I think it's going to be huge. And like you said, like not just his offensive ability, but his leadership on the bench, in the locker room, off the ice, on road trips, on the plane, everywhere. I think it's going to be a great thing. So
I think it's a big part of why Panarin is visibly making better decisions, because now you have Tarasenko, you have Kane, you have Goodrow, all Stanley Cup winners, and they got to be standing up somewhere in the meeting room saying, guys, this is what we need to do. This is what's got to, and I think it's getting there. The Devils, they did it. I noticed, I don't know if you guys noticed it much, but I noticed Panarin doing it a lot more, making the right play.
Yeah, we were saying that he's got to start buying in. It's definitely starting to show.
So
Definitely.
I'm hoping that that's the influence.
He speaking of Panarin, he tied the record, or he's amongst a group of 5 or something, and I have 80-point seasons as a Ranger or something like that. And
Oh yeah, that was the trivia question.
Yeah, so
one of the trivia questions, one of the games.
No, assists. I think it was 50 assists in a season, whatever. So yeah, I mean he's playing well. He's starting to amp up his game. So yeah, good things all around. Tarasenko rubs off on the right people, and it shows. Lead by example, right, Mikey?
Absolutely. He's definitely rubbing off on Coach. I think might have to reach out to Oscar, get another jersey.
Just one of those players that like I said with Gretzky. I mean, you know how good he is because you see the stats and you see him in the playoffs here and there. But when you see him every day,
gotta get it.
It's
we're gonna get Coach a Team Russia Tarasenko jersey.
Ooh. I don't know about that. I won't put the Russia jersey on. Sorry.
Yeah, I don't think that's appropriate right now. All right, defensive player. I guess even though I'm the host, Eddie always gives it to me. I went with Miller this week. I think he's just been playing very steady. He kind of had one game what was that? The Carolina game you and I were watching, Dad, where I was like, he's just having a noticeably horrible game.
Yeah.
He's definitely stepped it up since then, and he had a big goal against Washington. And I'll say it again, scoring against Washington just gets my blood going. So that was nice.
Mike, what do you got?
I'm
Mikey?
giving it to the captain, number 8, Jacob Truba.
The easy
think-
pick.
Yeah, it is an easy pick, whatever you want
No,
to say.
he's good. No, I agree. He's
But, I think we need that leadership coming into the playoffs right now, and he's definitely stepping into that role and taking that responsibility and playing well game in and game out. So Truba deserves some love.
Yep. Coach.
I was going to go with my boy Schneids because of his play without the puck, and he even joined the rush a couple of times. I think it was against Buffalo. He's making some really good decisions. I love the way he plays, obviously. But I changed it. I went to Keandre as well. See, if you notice, I put Schneids and then I put Key after it.
/Key.
Because the eye test, other than the goal, which was a nice goal, against the Devils, there were guys on semi breakaways. He was catching them. He's rubbing guys out in the corner. He's making a lot of good defensive plays coming back into the zone. Guys are not beating him in big games. I thought he's been playing really well.
It's going to be interesting to see how much he signs for. I believe he's a restricted free agent at the end of this year. And speaking of Schneider, did you see the video I sent of him being mic'd up?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was great. I love that. All right. Next up, key contributor. Let's go with Coach Ed for this one.
I went with the Barclay Goodrow Washington game specifically because we know how much he's always a key contributor type. But when he steps up to Wilson and does what he's got to do against a team like that, I got to give him the guy that's stepping into the action, doesn't back down from anyone. It doesn't shy away from any corner, doesn't shy away from any play in the ice, block shots, does what he's got to do. And I think I don't remember ever seeing a game where he's not playing at his all. Whatever that is, whatever position he's put in, wherever he's gotten, he just in these 4 games, he played a playoff type of game.
Nice.
Good pick. I like the pick.
Like the pick, Mikey.
I'm giving it to 3 people, 3 kids. Laffy,
Good line.
Kako, and Heedle. All of them. They've been playing great. Absolutely great. No complaints here from the kids line. And like you guys said, we're going to need them to perform, especially when the other teams are keying in on other top 2 lines. So
That's going to be the big difference in the playoffs.
Yep. 3rd and the 4th lines for sure. Yeah, so I kind of went with a similar suit, but I just went with Kako just by himself. He had 2 goals this sequence or this series of games, and they weren't just not just goals. I think they were very hardworking goals, and I drew him making a muscle because I think he definitely hit the gym in the offseason. He's been training a lot. It definitely shows. He's not really slowing down, whereas last year I think we talked about that the kids weren't used to playing a full season. Doesn't really seem like he's slowing down at all. And I love the way he plays behind the net and making those plays, getting the puck out to the point and just grinding behind the net and going to the net and getting those dirty goals. So I think he's been involved in a lot of plays, not only when they score or not only when the offense scores, but when they're getting shots from the point. Like I said, he's very good at finding that open man and digging in the corners.
I love Kako. Absolutely love him.
I love him too. I love the way he plays, but he had a bad game against the Devils, I thought. I mean, giveaways constantly bad, but whatever. You know what happens.
He definitely plays within a little bit of extra pressure against Hughes, unfortunately. So he's going to have to snap out of that come playoff time. All right, next up, I guess it's my turn to go first. The highlight reel play of the week. I went with Laffy's goal against Washington, of course, and I drew a video game controller because that was a video game type goal for sure.
Absolutely.
I love that move. I think that might be like his patented move. He did it against Detroit last year, remember? And I think he did it against
Buffalo, I think. What
Buffalo,
team did he put the backhander on?
I think it was Buffalo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's like his 3rd or 4th time doing that move. It's a great little fake shot between the legs, gets the defenseman biting, gets the goalie biting.
No, it
Gets
wasn't
everybody
Buffalo.
in
It
the
was
arena
last.
biting.
It was last episode. It wasn't Buffalo. It was someone where he did the move and he put it in. Yeah,
Yeah,
he
because
did
we
the same move on
picked
the
it as the
back end.
highlight, didn't we?
Yeah,
So
I
Yeah.
most
picked
of us
it.
picked it as
Yeah.
the highlight.
Yeah, except for Eddie picked
cousin Ed
Eagles
picked
goal.
Eagles. Yeah, so good for Laffy. Like Mikey said before, showing that first overall pick skill that we know he has, and just waiting to unleash.
I got Laffy too. That play almost broke the defenseman's ankles.
Yep.
If you watch the replay of it, the guy goes this way and he's like, "Oh shit!" And he like stops and his ankles go like this.
And the guy that went to block the shot too.
Yeah, he tried to grab him. He tried to do anything. He couldn't
Yeah.
get-
Yeah,
Great
he must
stuff.
have some fake, like some whatever head fake or pump, whatever
He
that just
pumped
gets.
it. That's what he
yeah.
did. He pumped it. He went like this, and the guy bit to block it almost, and he pulled it. It was
Yeah,
beautiful.
that's beautiful.
Beautiful stuff. So what does Laffy got this year? How many goals is that now? 17?
Got it.
I think it's right up there. He had 15. If it's 16 or 17. All right, Laffy for a season that we thought was
16.
16 for a season that everybody was complaining was a mediocrity. Put together a
Not
nice
too
little,
bad.
season.
Yeah, I mean, if it's going to be tough, but if he can hit 20 goals in the next 5 games, we said that'd be something else.
Well, it's like you guys talked about last week. He's doing that without really. Well, he has some power play time now, but generally no power play points.
Speaking of no power play points, Keandre Miller hit 50 points. 38 of them are on even strength or shorthanded.
He's got 50 points this year.
I think that's what they said on Chicklets earlier today, but they might have
No
been,
shot.
they might have been
No,
wrong.
I don't think so. I'd have to
Maybe for his career.
No.
That's crazy. He
does
definitely
he
doesn't
got?
have 50 points.
So who do you got for
Maybe
the?
41, maybe 40 points,
That sounds a little more.
and he's got 3 on the power play. Only 3 points on the power play.
Well, that's what everybody has to remember when they get frustrated.
41, yeah.
41.
Yeah.
All right, so
That's
he
what
hit 40
everybody-
points, and he has
that's what all
38
these-
even strength.
All these crazy fans have to remember these things. No one looks at that. That these other guys in the league, they're getting this. I mean, Robertson's a phenomenal player, but he's getting power play time. These guys are getting time
Yeah.
that our budding stars aren't getting.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yep.
it's
We beat
it's
that
just
horse to
another-
death, no doubt.
Yep.
We finished highlight, right? So I
Yeah, I
think it's
went-
time. What?
Oh, Laffy too.
I think it's time for everyone's favorite and the Suitors sisters' favorite, Coach Ed's Doghouse, brought to you by Suitors Sweet Treats. So, Coach, I failed. I meant to give you guys a new flavor cookie. I had it by the door for our airport pickup the other morning, and I completely forgot to give it to you for breakfast. But Megan Michelle came out with a new flavor, a chocolate ganache cookie with like chocolate chips in it, and it is something else. I will tell you that.
Ganache. What does that mean?
I don't know. It's some bakery term. I'm not really
Melts in your
sure.
mouth.
but
It means
They-
it
they
melts in your
always-
mouth.
They always say it in on all like the baking competition shows. I'm sure Kathy will know.
I'll have to ask
look it up.
Kathy. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that it's better than the vanilla or whatever the white cookie flavor is, but I think it might be. So Coach Ed's gonna have to be the final judge. Meg, I'm sorry for not getting it to him in time, but I will definitely give it to him tomorrow when I see him for
We might
hockey
have to-
practice.
We might have to do with the on-air review next week.
For sure, we'll do the on-air review. So yeah, if you want your favorite cookies from your favorite Suitor sisters down in Springfield, Tennessee, head over to Etsy and check out their page, Suitors, Sweets, and More on Etsy. And before you place your order, make sure you type in the promo code EDPOD23. That's EDPOD 23 to get 10% off and your free Coach Ed's Doghouse cookie, which I'm holding up right now on the YouTube. So go ahead and check that out. Mikey Produci's got his shadow box going. And I got, let's see what special ones I got over here. I got the Little Ed Rangers jersey, number 14. Shout out. The Patrick Kane player cookie, I guess we'll call it, where she actually prints out a picture of the player, which is pretty wild. Everything is edible, of course. I got my Liberty jersey. And last but not least, the Patrick Kane Broadway Blue jersey, which is one of my favorites. So, yeah, she can do any kind of Rangers logo or any kind of jersey, player, you name it. And I saw recently she actually sent a nice little care package over to our buddy Sean at a hockey night in New York. So,
wow.
Meg, a little bit of a trader painting some Islanders cookies, but hey, everyone's got to make their money and get their name out there, right? So,
Is poor Meg making any money, or is she just giving cookies away?
I think we created a monster. I think she just loves designing cookies.
I'm not going to complain, but she got rave reviews at Kathy's niece's baby shower, which was last Sunday. I think we talked about it. Everybody loved it.
Yeah,
Delicious
you sent me a picture of those. Those were very cool.
Delicious stuff.
Yeah, so head over to Etsy, her Instagram page as well, Suitors Sweet Treats. And once again, the Etsy page isn't Suitors Sweet Treats. It's Suitors Sweets and More. And use promo code EDPOD23 for 10% off and a free doghouse cookie. Thank you very much, Meg. We love you very much.
If you want to, maybe Meg has to get my signature and she can put that on the cookie.
The Coach Ed signature series.
Yeah.
For every pack of cookies, you could have in the players' cards, you could have there may be a signature one in it.
There might be an autograph, a Coach Ed autograph. In the cookie, though, you got to eat it. It might be buried in the cookie.
Like a fortune, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a good idea. Rangers Ed fortune cookies. or you pop it open into Sam Rosen quote. Got some ideas boiling here, Meg. All right, so the Doghouse Award, Coach Ed, I believe you had the power play in there last week. So what do you got?
I'm staying with it. We touched on it briefly before. I just feel with these players they have, we have to be going into the playoffs where teams have to fear getting a penalty because it should almost be automatic. It should be definitely more than 50%. And right now, I think they're struggling. It's getting frustrating to watch for me because I don't understand what the problem is. I mean, I would change things, but I'm not an NHL coach, so.
Yeah, I mean, I went with them as well. I think I had them last week. Also, I drew Coach Ed's whiteboard again, setting up the power play. I don't really know what the problem is. I think this might be a kind of a too many cooks in the kitchen situation. Everyone's playing a little unselfish, I think. Everyone's trying to get the puck to Miko, which is has been a consistent issue throughout the course of the season. They have to explore other options. I think you hit the nail on the head before. They got to have a player like Tarasenko out there who's going to be digging for those pucks, winning the battles no matter what. And, you need that strong lefty shot on the right side, I think. So I don't know what they got to do to change it up or figure it out, but it has to be a lot more consistent than it is right now. Mikey does it also with a sad face. How many power play goals did they get in this stretch? I think they did get one or two.
They might have had two, but I mean, like I said, the Devils game, they had multiple opportunities and they came up. I mean, I don't even think they had as many scoring chances or shots.
Yeah.
Which in a game like that, in a 2-1 game, that's definitely going to be the difference in the game.
And like I said again, like their defense and their goaltending is not strong. So especially on the power play, you should be able to expose that.
I don't think the Devils have a good penalty kill percentage. That's what was even more frustrating.
All right.
Well,
the Rangers went 1 for 2 in the power play that game. So Kreider's was a power play goal, obviously.
They have 4 actually, 2 against Nashville.
But even that one,
not Nashville, Columbus. Yeah. And then that Kreider one against Jersey, and Mika had one against Washington.
Kreider made a great play on that. It went off his skate to his stick, and he slammed it in. That was a great play by Kreider.
Yeah, but even that, it's not like a set play. It's not like a dominant power play goal. It's just it's almost like an even strength goal, lucky goal in a way. I mean, I guess we're probably being a little too hard on him. but it definitely has to be clicking at almost like 70% come playoff time. Like you said, they got to be afraid to get a power play or get a penalty like the teams were last year. Because the Rangers' power play in the playoffs last year was like I said before. Even if they weren't scoring, they had the puck for almost the entire 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And they were getting scoring opportunity after scoring opportunity. So it definitely has to happen again. And I think it will. I think Kane's going to step it up, and maybe come playoff time, they'll sneak Tarasenko in there here and there and do the right thing. So, yeah, a little recap of the board. Tarasenko with the tank, Snipe, the key, Kako, Laffy, power play.
The kid line with two spots on the board.
Yep. So, yeah, not a bad episode, boys. I think that should wrap it up. If you guys have anything else to add.
I got something to add.
Uh-oh.
I wanna get the fans caught up around the league. I think Mikey P.
Oh,
graced
I
us.
forgot because I
didn't want to say anything.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so let's throw it over to Mikey P.
All right. Sorry, Mikey. Before we get into trivia, it's time to throw it over to Mikey P with your Rangers Ed 150, the fastest 150 seconds in the National Hockey Podcast League.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Rangers Ed 150. We're down to the final couple weeks of the season, but we're still waiting to see how those playoff matchups shake out. Out west in the Pacific Division, Vegas, LA, and Edmonton have all clinched their spots, but with 5 games remaining and 4 points separating the first place Golden Knights and the third place Oilers, we got a lot of good hockey yet to play in this division. Vegas has a tough remaining schedule with the Preds tonight, a huge division tilt against the Kings on Thursday, the Stars on Saturday, and then the Kraken twice next week. LA's got 3 tough ones coming up in the Oilers, Golden Knights, and Avs, followed by 2 relatively easier games against the Canucks and the Anaheim Ducks. And finally, the Oilers have LA, Anaheim, the Avs, and the Sharks twice. So a bit of an easier run for the Oilers as the season wraps up. Those schedules in mind, we're going to see some really excellent tilts out of this division, particularly Oilers Kings tonight playing for second place, then Vegas, LA on Thursday. And one game I didn't mention, Winnipeg and Calgary are facing off on Wednesday in a game that could very well decide the second wild card position. Moving on to the Central Division, Dallas and Minnesota have both clinched their spots. In the third place, Avalanche can clinch third with a win tonight. Dallas is currently sitting in first place in regulation wins with the same amount of points as Minnesota, but it's highly likely that the Avs will take that spot, sitting 2 points back with 2 in hand over the Stars. As for the playoff picture, top spot in the Stars are 5 points back of the Pacific Division leader, so we're likely going to see the top spot in the Central playing the first wild card Seattle Kraken in round 1. Nobody's really talking out the Kraken as a cup contender, but with the exception of their goaltending, they're built like the Vegas Golden Knights when they went to the cup, so they're going to be a tough out in round 1. Heading back east, where the big boys play. In the Atlantic Division, Boston clinched the President's Trophy last week and will be facing off against the second wild card team out of the East. Big matchup in this division is definitely Leafs-Bolts round 1, which we've known for some time. The Leafs are up 4 with a game in hand on the Lightning, so we're likely going to see Toronto with home ice advantage in round 1. Anyone in their right mind is probably betting against the Leafs, but they got a couple things working in their favor this year that's definitely going to put them past the Bolts. Number 1, Ryan O'Reilly is slated to return this week, so he'll have 6 games to shake off that rust before the playoffs. Number 2, of every top 3 division teams, all 12, the Bolts have the worst road record by a landslide, sitting at 18, 19, and 1, so the Leafs should have a significant advantage heading into round 1 with home ice. Finally, a couple of honorable mentions out of the Atlantic in the Panthers and the Sabers. The Cats are 1 point back of the Pens with equal numbers of games played, and the Sabers are 5 points back with 2 in hand. That being said, the Sabres and Cats are facing off tonight, and every game these teams play right now is a must-win if they want to be playing past 82 games. Finally, in the Metro Division, the Canes have a game in hand on the Devils and Rangers and are up 3 on New Jersey and 6 over the Rangers. There's still a chance that the Devils catch the Canes, but the more realistic battle here is for home ice in the 2-3 matchup. The Devils have the Pens and the Rangers have the Lightning next, so a couple tough matchups for both teams as they duke it out for second place. The Islanders are also a worthy mention here, sitting in that first wild card spot. Heading into tonight, they played one more game than Florida and Pittsburgh, and 3 more than Buffalo. They're 1 point up on Pittsburgh and 2 up on Florida, and face off on Thursday against the Lightning. So not an easy road for them. This team can squeak into the playoffs and they get that first round matchup against the Canes, they're going to give Carolina fits because they're both low scoring clubs. Islanders are fantastic on the defensive end, and the Canes have lost 2 of their primary scorers this season. Going to be an interesting matchup, especially with Barzal coming back to the playoffs. This week, the boys in blue, they got Tampa on Wednesday, St. Louis Thursday, Columbus Saturday, and Buffalo Monday. Keep an eye out for that game against Tampa, as that could be a nice preview of a playoff matchup to come. Elsewhere in the league, be sure to tune in for those matchups out west with Edmonton, LA, Vegas, LA, and Winnipeg, Calgary on Thursday. Got some exciting hockey coming up this week, boys, so keep your eyes out. This has been your 150.
Mikey P.
Mikey P.
Bringing the heat, as usual.
Yeah, Red, you said before that the playoffs are kind of locked up. I mean, there's a chance the Islanders don't get in. I got some Islander fan friends that are a little nervous.
I meant for the Rangers.
Oh.
Like the Rangers-Devils matchup is locked up. Tampa and Toronto is, I think, like 9. I think that might be like 100% happening. So, no, yeah, the wild card spots are definitely up for grabs, without a doubt. But,
I mean, I hate to put the kibosh on Sean's love, but I hope Pittsburgh and the Panthers knocked them out.
Yeah, that if the Islanders get in, they're going to be a problem. I definitely don't see the Penguins being a problem for the Rangers if that happens, but the Islanders could definitely cause some noise.
Sorokin's Sorokin's beatable. Tampa got 5 against them the other night.
No, they're definitely beatable, but they know how to play when it comes down to it, and they're just I just don't want to deal with that stress.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
so
not
thanks,
much
Mikey.
less. It's not much less stress than any other playoff game.
No, for sure, and I'm sure it would be fun to do some content with Sean, Hockey Night in New York, but we'll see. Yeah, so shout out to Mikey P. Thank you very much for doing that as usual. And we will definitely have him on for a playoff preview episode once the matchups are locked in. And we'll go around and give our picks. And I'll have a playoff bracket set up like I did last year for everybody to join in. And we can get a nice little competition. And hopefully Cousin Ed doesn't win this year. Maybe we can do it and not tell him that we're doing it or something. We'll see.
He doesn't listen to the episodes anyway.
Yeah, this will be the test if he listens to the episode this week.
Did you I forget what I was going to say.
All right. Before we sign off, Mikey, anything new up on the YouTube to check out?
Yeah, we got the live show up. Mikey's 150. Coach's Corner has been coming in, so fans definitely tune into the YouTubes, catch all those short videos if you don't want to watch the whole video. We're getting up more and more content.
Yeah, for sure. So I think the subscriber count is definitely going up little by little. So I'll love to see that. What?
That's what I was going to ask you. Did you go to Hockey Night Live Sunday?
Hockey Night Live.
Hockey Night in New York?
No, we went out to dinner for Carmen's birthday.
Oh, I thought you went early. That's why I was asking you.
No. So that's it. Yeah, so head on over to the YouTube, check out all of our videos, and yeah, thanks for all the support, fans. Thank you to our sponsors, Oscar's Pro Stitch, Suiter's Sweet Treats, our newest sponsor, Bella Italia Marble, and big shout out to Sorrento's Pizza in Long Beach. We're going to get something going with them. They officially signed the contract, so I just got to lock in some deals and some advertising with them, which I'm going to be doing hopefully this week. And maybe by next week, we'll have something going with them as well. And so big shout out to Sorrento's, my personal favorite pizza around. And I'm sure if you go in there and try it, it'll be your favorite as well.
Yeah, I gave up pizza for Lent, so I'm going to be going there. I'm going to try to go Saturday and get a pie for Sunday.
Wow. Good for you, Coach.
Yeah,
very nice.
It's been a long 40 days. So
Very nice.
Also shout out for our next new sponsor, Dominic Lucarelli of Lucarelli Law. Coming
Yeah,
up.
got a lot of sponsors. Rangers Ed Boys. Got a lot of buzz of small businesses, big businesses, lawyers, pizza, cookies. We got
Jerseys.
everything going on. Jerseys, yeah. So basically all of our favorite things we're just looking to get sponsored and get taken care of. So yeah, shout out to all you guys. We couldn't do it without your support, both financially and just your support in general, your love of the show and everything like that. Shout out to all of our fans around the world, apparently. Our boy Gaz in England. Shout out to Lee in England and his family. I haven't given them a shout out in a long time. And yeah, like I said, shout out to all the supporters out there. It just means a lot to us, and we wouldn't be doing this. This would be our 100th episode, but we're not going to make it officially our 100th episode. And that's just a huge milestone, guys. So we should all be proud of ourselves. And like I said, we wouldn't be doing it without the support of our friends, family, and our sponsors, new and old. So thank you, guys.
Well said, bud. Love it. Very
There's
excited.
any ice cream shops out there that are listening, Vince,
Yeah.
shoot Little Ed a DM on Instagram.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go to Eddie's ice cream shop in Woodhaven, Queens on Sunday. So I'm gonna see
There
if
you
we
go.
can do anything.
I'll give you some stickers and some coasters to give to them.
Yeah,
So
give me
try and
something.
butter them up a little bit. No, but seriously, guys, if there's anyone out there that wants to get their small business or their company or their business out there and wants to toss a small fee our way to get a shout out on the show and to support us and throw your name out there, then we'd love to do it. And yeah, pretty much every dime that we make goes right back into the show for you guys. So we're not pocketing any of this money yet. We're nowhere near at that point. Hopefully one day soon, but not yet. So yeah, if you guys want a bigger and better show, the support definitely matters. So thank you. And if you don't have a small business, send a donation our way. And we got no, you laugh, but our friend Karen, shout out NYRKZB, our girl Karen, couldn't make it out to the live show. So she sent us the money anyway. She felt bad. So she made a nice little donation for the show. So that was very nice of her. I hate asking for money, but if you guys want
the Bushi favorite?
The Bushi favorite. Bushnevich fan.
I think she chickened out confronting me in person. What happened?
I guess maybe.
Okay.
Shout out, Karen. But yeah, she did make a nice, generous donation.
Thank you.
If anyone else wants to do that, like I said, I hate asking for money, but it does go directly back into the show. So if you guys want the production value to keep going up, that's how it happens. So
plus the giveaways, Eddie had the nice T-shirts. We're giving them away at the live show. Hopefully, we get another live show going soon.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna do that for playoffs soon. Definitely one for playoffs, maybe sooner. We'll see how it goes. But definitely keep an eye out on the Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, all that good stuff, and definitely check out the YouTube, like we were saying before. So, love you guys. I look forward to some more content as the playoffs approach. And let's go Rangers.
Let's go
Rangers. Good luck tonight.